Hey guys, earlier today I got into a game with the world famous No Thumbs crew, and they showed me how they were able to do the Dead of the Night main Easter egg boss fight on round 1. I met these guys when they had messaged me saying that they could do the Blood of the Dead Easter egg on round 4, and I made a video about that. Well, it looks like they've done it again, but this time they're doing a round 1 on Dead of the Night. There's only a few maps where you can do a round 1 Easter egg on, and that's Moon and also Revelations, and now Dead of the Night. So ever since the map released, they've been working pretty hard on figuring out the strategies for how to get it extremely low. And originally they were working on a legit strategy, and they still have a legit strategy that they're working on, and I'll post that as well when they have it finished. The legit strategy was what I was going to originally post, and they believe they can do it on round 2. But during testing, they were like, let's just push this to the absolute limit and see if we can get it as low as possible and see what all we can do. So this video is just for fun. It's just showing some of the stuff that they're doing and testing so that they can get to a legit strategy. There's a few difficult things to get around with this Easter egg. There's 3 instances where the game wants to push the round in the round and force you to the next one. So they've had to come up with ways to stop that. And for me, that was what I was most fascinated with, was how they figured out how to stop a round from changing when the game wanted to force it. For instance, the Blood of the Dead main Easter egg makes you go rounds when you're doing the seagull step, but they figured out a way around it for this map. This lobby here is a custom lobby because they were just testing and practicing, and they allowed me to record it and show it to you guys while they're still trying to work things out. So if you're watching this, don't take it too seriously. These guys like to play for fun, and that's what I love about them. They're not trying to do it to make YouTube videos or get views. They just really enjoy this game, and they like to test its limits. Because this is a round 1 Easter egg, you don't have to worry about health or anything like that. It's all regular health, regular speed of zombies. What they did do though was give themselves money to just speed things up. But that certainly is not necessary. You can put in a lot of elixirs that will give you plenty of money to get things done. And I'll show you guys the strategy for that for part of their legit strategy. So here's the loadout here. It's pretty simple. You want to have everybody have double points, nukes, extra credits, and power kegs. Before I get into the full low round Easter egg strategy and all the tricks that they use, because they are very cool, I can't wait to show you guys. I'll show you how they found that you can do Pack-a-Punch and the Wonder Weapon on round 1 legit with these gobble gums. So first I'm going to show you some gameplay from the legit lobby that they were working on, and this is just showing the elixirs that we had loaded in. As soon as you load in, somebody pops double points and everybody else immediately does a nuke before the zombies spawn in. That's going to give everyone 2,900 points, and you can get a lot of doors opened. Also, you can access these secret rooms that have the money drops in them, and you can use your double points to help add extra money. So that's the basic setup for the legit lobby that they're working on. And again, I'll show you guys all of their strats for that when they have it finished. But now I'm going to switch over to the lobby where they gave themselves money. They did that because they didn't want to waste a bunch of elixirs when they're just testing stuff. The first thing they did was make sure one player had a full meter, so they brought in power kegs. That player then went to find the crystals to start feeding zombies to them. Now this strategy is extremely complicated, and I might lose some of you guys during this tutorial. Well, it's not really a tutorial, it's just kind of showing you guys what they're working on, but I'll do the best that I can to explain everything that they did. So the person with the full special meter goes and finds a crystal. They need at least 8 zombies around them before they pull out their special meter, and what that does is it will despawn the zombies. It won't kill them, it will collect their souls into the crystal, finish the crystal, and then it will respawn the zombies somewhere else. So this crystal that they just finished, they got the souls from the zombies, but it didn't actually kill the zombies. So the zombies are back on the map. And when they look into that crystal, what they're really hoping for is to either get the perk statue challenge or the clock challenge. And this is really crucial to the rest of the game. So if they get the perk challenge next, what that means is that it's going to spawn in vampires, and they can utilize those vampires to feed the other 2 crystals. So they've maintained the same number of zombies on the map, and they were able to utilize the new vampires spawning in to finish the entire crystal step for the Pack-a-Punch. So right here, he looked into the crystal, the first one he fed, and he got lucky. Yeah, he got the perk statue on the first one. If he didn't get the perk statue or the clock step, then that means they'd have to go feed another crystal and use another power keg. And fortunately, yeah, it worked out in this game where they didn't have to. He's going to go trigger the perk statue step, but before he does that, he's going to go find the next crystal that he needs to feed, because he's going to be using those vampires from that challenge. He found the next crystal in the master bedroom, and and he's going to go head over to that perk statue and trigger some vampires. But before he does that, he comes to the front of the gate of the Pack-a-Punch, and this is where they wanted to bring all the zombies so that they're out of the way for this next step. So there's going to be one player holding some zombies right here. Two of the other players are off collecting parts for like the silver bullets and the shield. So once the majority of the zombies were in front of Pack-a-Punch, this player headed over to the laboratory area and went towards this perk statue. And this is how you trigger the challenge that's going to bring in the vampires. All they did was just step into the area to trigger it and then back out. And what they're doing is just making it bring in a few vampires at a time. So once he's got a few vampires, he's going to head up to the master bedroom and knife them and feed them to that crystal. Knifing the vampires fills up the special meter faster, and that was another part of their focus. The special weapon is huge with this strategy, so they're always working to get that meter filled up. While he's feeding those vampires to that crystal, there's another player working to go get more vampires for that crystal. They're just walking over there by that raw statue, doing the same thing by stepping into that area and then backing out and bringing the vampires over here. This player here is paying very close attention to their meter on their special weapon. Once it's full, they're going to stop killing vampires and allow another player to start filling up their meter too with the vampires. Right here, I switched over to another player's perspective, so they're starting to kill the vampires, and it takes 8 zombies or vampires or whatever for each crystal. So once that's done, they can walk over to the third and final crystal. There are plenty of vampires for the 2 remaining crystals, and there's actually extras left over. Now this step is time-based, so they've got to do it in a certain amount of time before it ends, and it gives you one of the tuning forks. If you're not standing in the immediate area of that perk statue, it will last a lot longer, and you're gonna get more vampires. If you're standing in the perk statue challenge area, it's not gonna go as long, and you're not gonna get as many vampires. Right here, they were done feeding this crystal. They're able to gaze into it to see what all they needed to do, and this one gave them the noose, so that's going to be the one that they do last. Now they're done with the vampires, they don't need any more, so they headed back over to the perk statue challenge area, waited for that timer to run out, and it dropped a tuning fork. The crystal in the bedroom showed them that they had to do a clock step, and this clock step is critical for some parts of the rest of the game, and I'll explain to you guys why. And this part here is just pure genius. I was really impressed with how they figured this out. So this step here is what actually allows them to not advance rounds. It keeps the game from going to the next round, and that's how they did it on round 1. The trick here is that they are turning these challenge zombies into regular zombies and adding zombies to how many are on the map, and that is what keeps the rounds from switching. During parts of the Easter egg where it forces you to go rounds, it will make the screen go white when you complete a step, and that will kill all the zombies on the map and change the round. But these guys figured out that if you make zombies and have enough on the map, when that screen goes white, it doesn't kill them all, and you stay on the same round. The way they're using this step to make zombies is you need a full special so that you can pull out the special on these blue glowing zombies, and when you do that, they're going to despawn and turn into regular zombies. And the way they were filling up their special meter was just stepping into the circle just a little bit and then stepping out, so it just spawns in a few at a time, and they would just kill them until they filled up their meter. And then when the zombies came around them, they would pull it out and it would despawn them and turn them into regular zombies. So they're using the zombies to fill their meter and also blast them with the pull-out method that turns them into regular zombies. And as long as you don't stand inside that circle, this circle will last a long time, and you can keep spawning in zombies and making regular zombies. This challenge timer will eventually run out even if you're not standing in the circle, and it will give you the tuning fork. And after they collected it, they moved on to the third crystals challenge. The third crystal wants you to go trigger a noose that's going to bring in a ghost, and this ghost is going to tour around the map until it ends up at a location where it breaks open something and gives you a tuning fork. This ghost will kill zombies in its path, so we had everybody move to the laboratory and bring every zombie here. Wait till all the zombies are here, and then they could go finish that third challenge. This noose is located in the wine cellar, so once you trigger that, a ghost is going to come in. Again, she will kill anything in your path. So this game is all about not killing zombies, but making zombies. So we definitely want to keep everything clear. She'll lead you to a location around the map and break it open and give you that third tuning fork. And at this point, point, you can go open Pack-a-Punch. And this is 100% legit Pack-a-Punch round 1 with no glitches necessary. Obviously, most people know where the Pack-a-Punch door is, so I'm not going to show that step. Next step is to gaze into all 3 crystals to get the main Easter egg started. Next step is to shoot the branches down and then make sure everybody has silver bullets to shoot the rings on top of the mausoleum. At this point, the silver bullets should be ready on the workbench in the library. That's a really easy step to do. And then all 4 players need to shoot the rings right here, and that should drop down. Next step is to turn these rings to focus that light towards the laboratory. And for these basic steps that don't require zombie killing, I'm just going through them really quickly. This is just an overview of everything and not an in-depth, detailed tutorial. The next thing is to put the zodiac symbols into the telescope, and that should turn that on, and then shield bash the crank, and it should leave that door open. The next step is to electrify the telescope, and this step could advance the round if you're not careful and you don't know how to do this. There was a part where we made extra zombies that helps this step, and also the position of the zombies is critical here. So one player gathered all the zombies in the dining area, and once they were there, they had the other 3 players run towards the telescope and inside the laboratory, and that one player kind of stayed back to make sure no zombies came inside this area right here. We timed it so that all of us were able to electrify our shields, run in here, and not have zombies anywhere near us, and that allowed us to stay on the same round 1 and not kill any zombies with that white flash. You can see right here we are still on round 1, and that step is done. And these are the sort of critical things that they've been working on the last few days and the fine details they've been working out. I just think it's really impressive the stuff that they've been able to accomplish in a short amount of time. So that one white flash was something that could advance the round. This next step definitely advances rounds if you don't get it exactly right. So this is the laboratory lockdown, and we definitely get a white flash here, and it tries to kill all the zombies on the map. So having the extra zombies helps a ton, and positioning of zombies is critical here. Before you start the step, you need to have the zombies on the steps. That keeps them far enough away from the laboratory and from entering it too soon, and it also keeps them from respawning inside the laboratory when everybody runs in here to hold activate on this stone. So again, keeping the zombies on the stairs when you enter this building is what helps to control this spawn and keep the round from changing. This part here is probably one of the trickiest. You have to use the wonder weapon to get the bile from the vampires, and you're trying not to kill zombies during this step, so you gotta be really careful to just kill vampires and get the bile so you can upgrade the Alistair's Folly. It's also required that you kill the werewolves that spawn in, so they used rocket launchers and they were just really careful to make sure there were no zombies around when they did that. Again, very tricky, but being on round 1, everything's extremely slow, so it's easier to manage. And right here, when you end this lockdown in the laboratory, it will change the round on you. So we were hoping that all the tactics that they worked out were gonna work. So we were just like on the edge of our seats right here, and it did work. We managed to stay on round 1. The next step is to use the wonder weapon to shoot the lamps in the graveyard area. I'm not going to go into full detail on how to do this, but once you trigger that bat, it's going to drop a part that you can pick up. And at this point, you probably have a free Alistair's Folly, and it's easy enough to use the shield to bash open that bookcase to get the part to upgrade it to the Chaos Theory. So we got the bile from the lockdown in the laboratory. So we use that to open up this crypt right here to spawn in the Crimson Vampire. We have players holding zombies on the other side of the map so that they don't interfere with this and accidentally get killed. Once he drops that part, you can pick it up and it's going to spawn in a bunch of vampires. During this step, we utilized the pull-out method of the special weapon to despawn them and turn all those little vampires into zombies. Again, the goal is to make zombies and not kill them. Pulling out that special meter and putting it back by pulling out a claymore or homunculus allows you to keep doing this over and over again, and you can keep doing it as long as that green bar is still going. There is one time where you do have to kill a zombie, but it's the only time, and that is going to be when you need to pick up the part from the mushroom pile in the woods area. We got really lucky in this game and only had to kill one zombie. It was the first pile that we had him dig up. We were able to collect the part for the weapon level 3 upgrade for the Alistair Folly. Once you have all those parts for this weapon, I'm not going to go into much detail about it. There's a lot of tutorials about this. You can build the level 3. The next step is to do the sacrifice step in the graveyard. So you want to have the person that's got the 1912 on their grave to activate their grave and then jump on this sacrifice cross. It'll send them to hell and put them in the ghost mode. They need to go run around the mansion and find this ghost that will spawn in, and then you got to take her back to the graveyard. This player will hold activate on the stone and come out of the ghost mode, but we're not going to start the lockdown in the cemetery yet. We do that later. They wanted to do the fireplaces with the knights next, so we had a player hold all the zombies in the front right here in the main hall, and then the rest of the players went to a fire trap and shot it with an upgraded wonder weapon, and then went and lit these fireplaces around the map with a shield with the fire. Once the fireplaces are complete, you collect these stones that you need to bring over to the forest, and they will find their little home somewhere on top of their symbol. Once all 3 stones were in here, the knights spawned in, and at this point you have to feed souls to the knights. So they use the despawn method to feed the souls to the knights without killing zombies. It takes 72 zombies to feed all of these knights and move them closer to the Pack-a-Punch so that they form a triangle. Once they form the triangle, you have to kill werewolves in that triangle right in front of the Pack-a-Punch. So we just had some players drag some of the zombies and werewolves that we didn't need out of the forest area so that they could just kill those werewolves without killing the zombies. Next thing we did was the lockdown in the cemetery, and this one's pretty hectic. You got to be really careful. Those vampires are really fast, and it's hard to try and deal with them and not kill zombies. So we had all the zombies out here in front, like the courtyard area with this fountain, and right as we were ready to hold on that stone, we all ran in at the same time, leaving most of the zombies behind us with that center area. For this lockdown, you have to kill vampires and werewolves. So we use the despawn method to make the vampires into zombies, and then we just killed the werewolves with rocket launchers. And again, we were careful not to kill zombies. And what they had figured out with making enough zombies so that when that white flash happens, it won't kill everything, because there's still a lot of zombies still spawning in. We did the last challenge in the forest, so we all held activate on this stone here and started the lockdown. For this one, you have to kill the catalyst zombies. So again, what we did was we despawn them and turn them into regular zombies, and that counted towards this challenge. After that was over, we had another hurdle to get over, and they finally figured this out earlier today. Now, this is the part where most people think you absolutely have to change around, but you don't, and they figured out how. Everybody holds activate on this stone, and it will open the door, and a white flash will happen like you've seen in the other steps, and most of the time it will end the round, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But because they have been making zombies this entire game, and then they figured out a trick to keep that white flash from killing all the zombies, it worked. We were able to get into the boss fight on round 1 without the round changing. You can see right here we're all holding activate on the door, and we didn't know at this point if it would actually work for this step. Again, we're all holding our breath hoping that it would, but once we had seen the boss fight start, we didn't hear the round change, and we could tell, yeah, we were still on round 1. Doing the boss fight on round 1 is incredibly easy because the speed of the zombies in the arena are round 1 speed, so it's really nice, and we just had regular health. You don't even need health for this method. Again, this was just a test run to see what they could do with everything that they had, and they're also going to be doing a legit method. They're currently working on that, and that was their initial goal with this. But I'll definitely share that with you guys once they have it figured out. This is definitely a process they're having to go through, and I appreciate them letting me tag along. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.